Well, glad to see you all here. Again, my name is Dickey, and I've worked here at Beaver Water District for 2 years. And mainly what we do is we will take samples in each day, beginning in the morning, and we'll have just a regular lake sample from Beaver. You can tell it's a little bit dirtier. And then we'll also have a finished sample that we've already finished. And so you can definitely tell a difference. And so we use a lot of different laboratory equipment to run different tests on each of these. And this is something that we do on a daily basis. And so we go through various tests, and there's one other lab tech, and we alternate different things throughout the day and as weeks go along. You can really see a difference. You know, when it rains a lot, you see the mud and the runoff, and the lake actually looks like this. You know how you go over bridges sometime and you look down and, ooh, it's muddy water. And so whenever we have high flows of rain, it takes a lot to get turned into that. The samples are brought to us. We go through a step each month called long run, which we go to 8 or 9 different sites of streams that run into Beaver Lake. And so we'll get different samples from each of these streams, and then we'll run, I made a list, we'll run aluminum, iron, manganese, conductivity, turbidity, TSS, which is total suspended solids, to see how much sediment is actually in the water. We'll do nitrates, nitrites, copper, orthophosphate, silica, TOC, which is to see how much carbon's in the water, pH, and temperature. And so there's a lot of different tests that go into it. And then of course we work with the operators and various people throughout the plant, and it's really one big team in order to get your goal of good drinking water. And say if we got this from one of the sites, we would stick an instrument in there, and it'll give us conductivity, temperature, different readings that we're able to write down.
Okay.
Once we get back to the lab, we take those readings and we put them into a computer software called LIMS. And it's a good way for us to track the data that we have for each of those sites. Our main job is to be inside, but we do get to go to the lake. We also do profiles, especially during the summer, which we will lower a piece of equipment called a data sonde all the way down 81 foot deep, somewhere around there, give or take a little bit, to the bottom depth of Beaver. And it'll give you different readings at the different depths as you go down. And so that helps us as far as process control and seeing what we need to do to treat the water. I like the people that I work with. It's a real professional group that we have here at Beaver. Everyone works together as a team. I really enjoy analyzing the water as well. No day is hardly ever the same, and so you get to adapt to different weather fluctuations and such. And you know, it's like I said, it's professional. We get to wear jeans and we have fun, but at the same time we all have a common goal, and that's to produce good drinking water. Graduate high school, which is something that all you guys are working towards. Had to have a couple years laboratory experience, which my previous employer, Central Arkansas Water, they're also a big outfit here in the state that provides drinking water. I had about 3 years experience with them, and so that put me in the position to work here at Beaver. You have to have the grade 4 distribution and treatment, which is a state license. If I remember correctly, each of those is somewhere around 96 hours of training, and then you go in, you take your test, and that's offered through various groups throughout the state. And so yeah, you do have to have some training in that. These samples that we bring in, if we're testing for aluminum or iron, a lot of these different tests, you'll use little chemical packets. And so you break your different samples down depending on the test you want to run. And you'll pour your chemical in there and you'll mix it up, and a lot of them have certain holding times or times that chemical has to set in there. And then once it's time, a lot of times we'll have timers, we'll use timers, so it goes off, and then we'll pour it through this machine. And this machine is much like a computer. So say we want to run aluminum, we'll press aluminum, add our chemical, let it sit there, and then we'll pour it through. And this machine will give us a readout. And it'll be numbers like 0.004 or something. And once we take that, we'll write it into our log. And we do that for each individual test. But the DR4000 is one that we use every day. We use microscopes. We look at algae. Algae really multiply in the summer as the temperatures increase. And so we'll take algae samples from different depths and put it under there. And of course they move, and it's always kind of neat, especially if you haven't seen it.
Algae's alive?
It's alive.
It's alive.
Yeah. I grew up close to a lake and a river, and I always enjoyed the outdoors, and always wanted to try to make a difference somehow. And this is a job that's very enjoyable, and especially when you have a good group to work with, as we have here. What we have coming up is low flow testing.
Which that is?
Which is, there's going to be 32 samples taken from 32 different sites and streams, and it's actually called the, let's see if I pronounce this right, synoptic survey. And so it's actually a study of biological, chemical, and physical aspects of water, which includes how many fish are in a certain locale, and also microinvertebrates. And so it's a lot of different aspects of water, and then we will take that data and compare it to past data to see where some things stand. Beaver is very proactive in looking at a broad perspective on different things. So it's some things that we're definitely looking at, yeah. I'll tell you, of course all of us went to school, and one of the most important things you can do is learn how to communicate effectively with others. Reading and writing, math, science is all important. Those are some good skills to have. And something I failed to mention is the importance of safety. We have a real good safety procedure set up here at the Water District. And so being a lab tech, it's really important to be a good listener and also follow instructions, which is something that I'm sure all of you guys have to do in your classes as well.